The veneers are shaking. The crime stories are shaking. The cargo is shaking. Los Angeles is shaking. The presidential election is shaking. I don't know who's shaking, Lil Yachty or Caribou. Love Island is shaking, and y'all was bound and determined to make sure I did some Love Island news, weren't you? Well, you got it. We're here. This is Cierra Ortega. She was coupled up with a man named Nick, but now she has been released from her contract on Love Island. They kicked her off the show from some racial slurs that she made in an Instagram post. There's a lot to this story. Let's talk about it. So this is her with the guy that she was supposed to be coupled up with named Nicholas. And her and Nicholas look very cute together. They look very serious about that. Now, I'm only Love Island through one of my friends. He's breaking it down to me every day. But have I watched? I can't keep up, but I'm into the drama. So I know who's dating who. I know Olandria. I know Ace. I know the names. But to see these people, she's a beautiful girl. He's a beautiful guy. They look serious. You know, it could be like wrestling. It could be all fake and it's here for entertainment. Y'all have to tell me. But now she's been let off the show. He was now single and they have him coupled up with a young lady named Olandria. Now this is him and Olandria, the beautiful chocolate girl that was chasing after this little boy right here, and he was chasing after Clark. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all, I'm kept up to the story, but I digress. Let me tell you what's going on with Cierra. Now, in an old post of Cierra's, an old story from Instagram that resurfaced, she was talking about her Botox. Let us read. She said, Botox isn't for everyone, but I love it for me. I'm incredibly expressive with my face, and I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day. When I'm focusing on something or thinking too hard, I can also be a little chink, is what she said, when I laugh and smile. So I love getting a mini brow lift to open up my eyes and get that snatched look. This is not me encouraging, but more so sharing. So she's not necessarily coming directly with a slur that would indicate I'm coming for someone of Asian descent. But she said that word chink, and they said that is a derogatory word towards Asian people. Now, something else that I have to educate you guys on, so is Oriental. So is Oriental. When I grew up, they used to say things were Oriental all the time. Noodles. There's a company that's Oriental noodles now. Rugs and some more things. So the Orient was an area that I know that they lived at one point, and so that is something now that is completely derogatory. Do not call people Asian people Oriental. So there are so many words in our culture now. Like, there are bad words for stuff that we knew. The N-word, a W back, you know what I mean? And I'm saying these words, these Asian derogatory words, because you need to hear them and you need to know, do not say them. Everybody Hate Chrissy said that they are racist and do not say them. But when there's like a W back, when you're talking about somebody Latino, we heard those things in the 90s and we knew those are wrong. These are new words we didn't know was wrong. Now, there's like the R word when you're speaking of somebody's special needs. That is something that recently we all found out together was wrong. Did not know. But I saw some Asian people in the comments and they're like, I see some non-Asians saying this is not offensive, and I'm Asian and I'm totally offended. So I'm like, ooh, good to know. These are bad words we should not use. Sometimes stuff is regional, but sometimes stuff is everywhere. Another word, for example, my best friend used to live in Alaska, and she said out there, calling somebody an Eskimo is equivalent to the N-word. Isn't that interesting? I would have never thought that. I actually envision in my mind a Eskimo person. It's a certain, derivative of a certain Native American tribe that worked amongst the snow. I'm never thinking that's a derogatory word. But she said in Alaska, it's giving you would lose your job. So we really have to find out the words that people are not saying anymore. You don't want to be like, Whoopi Goldberg and say spaz, and now you got to go say sorry the next day on The View. And I really did the research on this. This article is from the PhiladelphiaBar.org. And the first word they said when I put in Asian slurs is they said chink. So she was wrong. This is a word that they're saying, when you Google it, racial slur immediately. But they also spoke about Joseph Grow, which Grow or Row or that type of last name. That's an Asian last name, so that's him. He owns and operates Chink Steaks in Philadelphia. So that is somebody of their descent. You know, if I opened up N-word burger, what you gonna say? You know what I mean? To me, the people can use their words how they decide to use their words, but we can't use their words. She released an apology, and let's read it. But before that, I want to let you guys know she is of Puerto Rican and Mexican descent. Okay? So she's not Asian. But as Cierra's parents, so her parents are speaking from her page. As Cierra's parents, this has been one of the most painful weeks of our lives. We've seen the posts, the headlines, and the hurt and the hate. While Cierra hasn't seen any of it yet, we have. And so have the people who love her. So her parents have officially taken over the page, which I think is best for her mental health. Give me that password. We're not here to justify or ignore what's surfaced. We understand why people are upset, and we know accountability matters. But what's happening online right now has gone far beyond that. The threats, the cruel messages, the attacks on her family, her friends, and even her supporters, it's heartbreaking. It's uncalled for, and no one deserves that kind of hate, no matter what mistake they've made. While Cierra is not in the villa anymore, she's still away, and she hasn't had the chance to process any of this or speak for herself. But we know our daughter, we know her heart, and when she returns, we believe she'll face this with honesty and growth and grace. While she'll always be our little girl, she's also a woman who will take responsibility in her own time and in her own voice. Until then, we're simply asking for compassion, for patience, for basic human decency, not just for her, but for everyone caught in the middle of this. Thank you for those who've continued to show love, even when it's not easy. With love, her family. Now, I thought this was interesting. Another young lady who was a contestant on Love Island, whose name is Isabelle, and she came out and did a press release saying that she is of Asian descent, baby, and she is completely proud of Love Island for kicking her off of the villa. Now, when I see this lady, this gives me Bella Hadid, Giselle Bundchen. I thought this was a full white woman. If we're going to be honest, I look more Asian than she does. So I would have never thought this lady was Asian. Now, there are some features on people that can change. There are some fully black people, black mom, black dad, that look like Caucasian people all the time. The diaspora is real, but look at me and look at her. Who look more Asian, me or this lady? Exactly. Now, let's read her press release and what she had to say. And I got to read this to you because she chewed her up. I'm like, is it beef? As a proud Asian American woman, I said, period. Them blonde streaks, they don't mean nothing, baby. She said, I come from, yeah, one of them. As a proud Asian American woman, I am deeply appreciative of Love Island USA producers for taking a stand and making it clear that racism of any kind is not tolerated. When I first saw what my fellow Islanders said on her social media pages, I was incredibly heartbroken. I wanted to wait until they left the villa and were able to address the situation, genuinely apologize, and commit to learning from the experience before deciding how our relationship would look moving forward. As screenshots continued to surface, it became clear that I could no longer support this person and made the decision to unfollow them a couple days ago. Asian hate is oftentimes overlooked and dismissed, but being a first-generation American, I have personally witnessed and experienced how real and hurtful comments like these are. It is my hope that this situation can shed a light on how big of an issue anti-Asian hate actually is. Just like so many other Asian Americans, my mom immigrated here to create a better life for her and her future family. Okay, so her mom is Asian. Oh, I totally believe her. We all look like something, period. Knowing the hardships she and so many others have faced, I could not be silent any longer because what good is this amazing platform? God and you, because what is good is that this amazing platform God and you all have given me if I don't use it to amplify the voices of my community. I do not condone bigotry or racism of any kind, but I also don't condone hate either. Please think twice before leaving unkind comments to or about this person. I love y'all so much. So she came with a touch of dragging and then a little bit of, baby, don't do that to her. Don't do that to her. So, okay, period, Isabelle, you're allowed to speak your piece. But she's gone, girl. Cute girl, beautiful gowns. I am so sad for her. And I know she learned a really deep, hard lesson, but I hope all of us did, so we just never make this mistake again.